Hi, this is part two of indicator six, dividing fractions using models. Today, we're going to divide whole numbers by fractions. Our learning target again is I can construct a fraction model to represent dividing fractions. So we all know keep, change, flip. So now we want to look at different ways. Why does keep, change, flip work? So dividing whole numbers by fractions, 5 divided by 1/2. I want to know how many 1/2s are in 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a number line from 0 to 5. And we want to know how many, as I said, 1/2s are in 5. So we're going to divide each section. And by section, I mean from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, so forth and so on. We're going to divide them into halves and then number them. We're going to count them. Okay, so let's see the answer to our question right here. There are blank halves in 5. Okay, so I'm going to divide this one in half by just putting a line there. It doesn't have to be pretty. Now I'm going to go back and draw lines on my numbers, including 0. So that's going to give me my section. So you see from 0 to 1, we have 2 sections. So we divided it in half. From 1 to 2, we have 2 sections, and so forth. Now I'm going to number them. Let me change colors. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these are halves, and we're trying to see how many are in 5. So look, we counted 10, so there are 10 1/2s in 5. Okay, that's pretty simple. You probably keep, change, flipped, and did that in your head really quickly. The next one is 3 divided by 3/8. So we want to know how many 3/8 are in 3. So first we need to do our number line from 0 to 3, which I already provided in the guided notes. And then subdivide each number, each section here, into 8s, because that's our denominator. So our denominator tells us how many sections that we need to put between each number. So my way, I have a way of doing it. I go halfway, and then I do my four sections here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 sections here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that looks a little crazy. Let me fix that. Make that a little bit better. I can do better than that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I got 5. Y'all help me. Okay. And so this is my last one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna do better than I did before. Now I should have 8 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I do. Okay, one more. Doesn't have to be pretty. 1, 2. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and I'm also going to draw lines here on my numbers. Now I want to know how many 3/8. Remember, this told us our sections. I said that, so we divided each into 8 sections. Now we're going to count by 3. So I'm just going to put count by. Just to remind myself when I go back and look at this, I'm going to change color. And I'm going to count 3 sections and mark it off. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. 1, 2, 3. I know that looks horrible. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. Let me move my picture out of the way. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. 1, 2, 3, mark it off. Now I'm going to go in here, my black lines. Those are my sections. I did 3 out of each 8 because I have 8. So each of those are 1/8, and I counted 3 of them. So now I'm going to put big numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 3/8 in 3. So 3 divided by 3/8 is equal to 3, and you can check that with keep change flip. Somebody said keep flip change yesterday, and I'm all mixed up. Now let's try a different type of model. We're going to use circles instead of a number line. And these are two types of model. You can use squares. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't use triangles because that's kind of weird, but circles and squares are good to use for this. So instead of a number line, we can find out how many 1/4 are in 3 by first we draw 3 circles. That's our whole number. So this is the number of circles. Write that in your notes so when you go back and look at them, you remember. And this is the number of sections in each circle. So sections in each circle. All right, so I'm going to divide each circle into 4 sections. Again, they don't have to be perfect, just as before. And since I'm doing 1/4, I'm going to count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 1/4 in 3. So 3 divided by 1/4 is equal to 12. And you could have got that from keep change flip. All right, let's do another one. This time, got a little 2 there. So let's see what we're going to do here. There are how many 6 divided by 2/3. So how many 2/3 are in 6? So this tells me how many circles. So this is the number of circles. We wrote this before, but let's write it again. Repetition helps. And then this is number of sections in each circle. All right, so if you're going to divide a circle into 3, just draw a Y. And as you see, those aren't perfect, but who is? Oops. I'm just going to leave that there. So that's my 3 sections. Now we want to know how many, these are all 1/3. We need to know how many 2/3, so we're going to count by 2s. And just to demonstrate it here, if you're doing it on paper, you would have pencil. So you might do lines on one and squiggles on, another on your other group to count. So my first group is 2. I want to shade that in with pink. And so that's my first 2. This is 1, 2. Because see here, I have 1, but I'm doing sections of 2, and my other section is in this circle. But I know they belong together because they're the same color. So I'm going to do here again, count 2, 1, 2. And then 1, 2. Now, if you're doing it with pencil, you might want to do this and then a squiggle. I'll do that. Then 1, 2. But I'm still going to change color. So those 2 go together. 1, 2. So now let's do another 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to count them all up at the end, okay? And then 1, 2. I'll squiggle it like we would do if we were doing it with a pencil. And then now we got 1 here and 2 over here. But we'll know they go together because we got this, oops, no, we don't have the same color. We got the same color. Ignore that pink. And let's do 2 here. So those 2 go together. And then our last one is this pink. So now we're going to count. I'm going to use the black to count how many sections we have. So these 2 together, that's 1. These 2 together, because they're, we counted 1 here and 1 there. So that's 2. I'm going to put 2 there though. Those 2 that's my 3rd group of 2/3. Here's my 4th group. There's my 5th group. You getting it? There's my 6th group. These 2 are my 7th. These 2 green ones are my 8th, and these 2 are my 9th group. So there are, how many 2/3 are there in 6? And that should be a question mark. There are 9. So 6 divided by 2/3 is 9. And if you keep change flip, you'll end up with 18 divided by 2, which is 9. All right. Hope this helps.